U.S. consumer prices accelerated in May as Americans continue to grapple with the rising cost of food.
As many households and restaurants are forced to rethink their budgets, experts, I should say, suggest reducing food waste as a means to save money and the environment. According to the nonprofit Feeding America, 108 billion pounds of food is wasted in the U.S. every year. That equates to about 130 billion with a B, meals and more than $408 billion in food discarded. In total, 40% of all food in America is wasted annually.
Wow, that's a travesty when
that's
put it like that. Wow. And joining us now is Whitney Jefferson. Whitney serves as managing editor of BuzzFeed.com, where she writes about pop culture and wellness. Whitney, thanks so much for being with us. You know, hearing all of that waste, it's pretty eye-opening. We've never seen food prices like the ones we're seeing right now. So how can families adjust their shopping habits in order to not only save on their grocery budget, but save on some of that waste?
Absolutely. You know, I think not everyone wants to do these, and maybe in regular times we wouldn't, but everyone's wallets are really feeling it. So these are the hacks that I would suggest. So number one is coming up with a list of what you want before you go. Yes, sounds obvious, but not everyone does it. It's also really helpful if you keep in mind either the meals that you're planning for that week or who you're cooking for. So if you know you have hungry children at home, you want to make sure that they have snacks that are going to feed them, but then also not be wasted. So back to the food waste thing, you want to really plan out as best as you can exactly how much food you need each week or for every shopping trip possible.
What I've been learning, because I'm an avid IGer, as a lot of folks know, is storage of food. And I'm really amazed at how much you can extend the life of food in your pantry or in your refrigerator if you just know how to store each of these items. Can you fill us in on more of that?
Absolutely. So if you took a look at my fridge here, you would see that inside there's all sorts of leaves and asparagus in water. So that's actually one of the best tips for any of your leafy greens or green vegetables that are grown in the ground, is to put them in either a mason jar or even a vase, whatever you have, any kind of glass situation, and put them in there as if they were flowers. And that will prolong the life for weeks, sometimes even a month. My kale will last up to a month, if you're a kale person, that is, in water like that. One tip though, make sure you're changing out the water every so often. Otherwise it can get moldy and kind of stinky. So they say once a day or every other day to change the water, but you will be surprised at how long things last if you keep them in water.
That's a great
Same
tip.
goes for herbs.
Oh, I know.
Herbs will be great.
Yeah, so
I love leafy greens.
Right. Well, keep your bananas away from your oranges, and you potatoes in a dark place.
I put them all in a fruit bowl together.
You don't do that.
See, I didn't know. I didn't know. Now I know. But you know what? The other thing about this is obviously the saving money and making your food last as long as possible. But get this: each year, the average American family of four loses on average $1,500 of uneaten food. I mean, that's a lot of money for anyone. So in terms of minimizing your waste at home, now we know how to store our food, which is great. But do you plan your recipes ahead of time, your meals ahead of time? Because that's just kind of above my pay grade. I'm not very good at doing that.
I completely understand what you mean. I'm not the best meal planner, even though I've tried many times in my life. What I suggest is doing a weekly inventory or a quick inventory before you're going to do more grocery shopping. So for me, I really like a good vegetable soup, and I have a lot of fresh vegetables in my fridge. So every week, once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on how often I go grocery shopping, I'll take an index of what I have and make a big soup and then freeze it. Freezing it is so huge for saving waste. Some people decide that they're going to cook food to freeze specifically and always have on hand. But I really suggest keeping your food scraps available if you want to compost, or make even just like veggie scraps into a broth. Keep that in your freezer. But definitely soups, or just like cooking with what you have that's about to expire, really, really can save you money instead of just throwing it away. And also, as you said, it helps the environment and helps, keep our emissions down.
I have learned so much. Whitney, I'm running home. I'm taking my oranges out of the fruit bowl and putting my kale in water. This is great.
It is great.
Whitney Jefferson, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.